Thank you so very much for joining us. My name is Walisha Wilson. I am the founder of New Life Second Chance Outreach. Again, thank you for taking your lunchtime to learn about our guest today, Resilience Education. This series is the second in our new webinar series that aims to connect individuals in the community and those we serve with resources. As most of you know, we are a resource sharing hub for individuals in Georgia and some folks in Alabama who are impacted by an arrest, conviction, or a criminal record. And we have over 2,000 folks that we were sending emails out. And because we're an all volunteer organization, that does take a lot of time with our board members and our volunteers. So right now we've been sharing everything, pretty much most of everything on social medias. And the only ones we do email resources to are individuals who are on the sex registry, who unfortunately a lot of them cannot access social media. So we do email those resources to them. But all of our resources are on our social medias. And usually, like most of you did, we will send out emails regarding our events or upcoming events from our partners, or if it's something that came in very short notice and that would be more impactful by sending it through email as opposed to this. And so this new reentry series was a way for us to connect you all to folks in the communities throughout Georgia who's doing great work. We've actually booked up our schedule already for the end of 2025, and we are seeking resource providers um, to do these on Thursdays coming in 2026. And so the goal is to connect folks, particularly folks with criminal records. That is our priority. However, the resources that we share, these events are open to folks uh, who may not have a record. So last week we opened with Technical College System of Georgia that I did not even know had a lot of great programs, some virtual, some in person. And a lot of them are actually open to people with criminal records. And so if a lot of folks don't know, a lot of colleges completely exclude people with criminal records. And found out that they not only offer programs for folks with criminal records, but they have free certification programs. So if you missed that event last week, please go to our YouTube page or watch the recording on our website. I'll make sure I drop the link shortly so that you can watch the recording for that as well as register for our upcoming events. We have domestic violence providers coming on in October. We have for September, by being the holidays, folks that can help with legal assistance, evictions, rental assistance, utilities, food, groceries, and all of those are from the webinars that we have scheduled for the remaining of this year. So I'm going to drop that information in the chat. And if you can, feel free to register for those, but I'll also send that information to you in follow-up email. So now we're going to go ahead and get to our guest for today, Ms. Murial Dawkins from Resilience Education, to tell us about her programs, introduce herself first, and then we're going to get to sharing her events, her slides. And Muriel, I don't know if these slides will be available for folks afterwards. If you want me to share, let me know, and I'll make sure I can get that shared as
Yeah,
well.
I'll email it to you so you can share it.
Okay. And then at the end, Muriel will have her presentation in about 30 minutes. And then after that, we'll have a Q&A, and we will be out of here promptly by one or before one. All right, Muriel, it's on you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Murial Dawkins. I am the Atlanta community leader here for Resilient Education for the Atlanta Rising Group, and I'm also the administrative coordinator. So I'm going to share my story. I started with Resilient Education back in 2024. I'm huge on looking up resources that can benefit me, but also benefit the next community. Okay, are you ready to share the slides now?
In 1 minute. Okay, I'll make sure they're on slideshow. There we go. If you can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can share the screen.
All right. There you
Okay, if you can go back to the second slide that has the agenda on there.
I'm gonna put you all at the beginning.
The
This one? Oh, right here.
second. Okay.
All right.
So this is the agenda for today. I already did my introduction. So basically, I'm going to be going over our three approach. I'm going to be talking about the community members, and then I'm also going to be doing an RPC tour where you can see everything live from the community feed, from the resources, from the services, and everything that we have to offer. Next slide, please. So when it comes to resilient education, we have three approach. We have the in-prison education programs that started in the University of Darting. So that's where everybody is, where some of our team are based in Virginia, and that's how we all got started. Then I and the rest of our team come with the post-release side, which is the resilient professional community. So everything we do is an online family where we have resources they will offer to the community when they either A, coming out of prison or coming out of jail, or they've already been out and they want to look for resources. So everything we do is online. Next slide, please. And this is a sneak peek of all the services that we offer. So, say for instance, I'm just going to use me as an example because I started in 2024. I came through and I was like, I need resume assistance, right? And then the next step I needed was the interview preparation, right? Because even though I already had those skills, I wanted to know more. So once you join in and get your account activated, you can sign up for these services. And then we have an ally who is somebody who is formerly incarcerated or not incarcerated that wants to come back to the community. You fill out a Google form and then you will be able to book a Zoom meeting with your ally to help you with a resume, assistant interview preparation, career counseling, whatever challenges support that you're having, because we all have challenges. And then we have the resource library where you can go back and watch all the recordings from the workshops that we have. Next slide, please. This is very, very huge for us because we are great when it comes to networking and mentorship. I personally believe that you should have a mentor. I have at least four of them, right? So I have four on the outside of Resilient Education, but I also have four with Resilient Education. So you can sign up for the next cohort they will have, and please get you a mentor. You can keep the same mentor, or you can switch it up like I do. You can have different ones for any aspects of your life. Next slide, please. And this is the upcoming events that we have on the RPC. We have the community meetup where we like to branch off and meet everybody that's part of the community. And then we ask real life challenges or real life questions that we're going through. And then we have the navigating the maze where we have the panelists that come in to talk about job resume. We talk about we talk about job resume, interview prep, and different things from our partners. And then we have the financial capability course that is coming up that kicks off in October, where you'll be able to learn how to balance your finances because Lord knows I need to figure that out part two. So this is everything you will see once you get your accounts activation. But if not, I'm going to email Wanisha so you don't have to worry about it. I will share the area table with her, and then you'll be able to register. And now I will share my screen so I can give you a live feed of the RPC tour. Thank you. Okay. Let me know if you can see it. Can you see
We
it?
Yeah, we see it.
Okay. So this is
You
the
got to
RP.
move the little thing at the bottom.
Okay, got
Yeah,
it. Move this out the way. Put this
and
over
see if you
here.
can maximize your screen. Just hit the X on your that little thing at the bottom. You just move, hit the X,
Okay.
and then maximize your screen at the top.
Okay. So this is the RPC tour. Once you get your accounts activated, you can either do a group onboarding over Zoom or you can do an individual onboarding. But you have to have your accounts activated to see all the resources that we offer and also be able to sign up for the events that we have coming up. So I'm going to do a walkthrough. Once I get my account activated, I will come here to the home page and then I will navigate to the community feed. Once I navigate to the community feed, I will see all the posts that everybody posted. If they have a lot of wins and they want to post that, they come here to post that. And also resources, right? Then I'm also be able to do an introduction about myself and the things that I'm looking for and the people that I want to network, right? Then I will come over here to the navigator screen. Not the navigator screen, I'm sorry. Go back. Not the navigating screen. I'm sorry, not the navigator screen, but I will come over here to the job opportunities board. This is the job opportunities boards that we post jobs, but before we post it, we always make sure that these jobs are second chances because some jobs say they are, and then we find out later they are not. So we like to just make sure that all the jobs that we posted and make sure that they are second chances, right? Then I will come over here to the events and workshops. And this part, you will be able to see all the upcoming events. Like we have the mentorship cohort that's coming up, and then we have the community meetup where we come and meet the community. And then this is the one I was talking about, the ca- financial capacity course, right? So this is where you will be able to see everything that we offer. Then I will come over here to the groups. And this is all the groups that we have. We have a negotiation course group, we have the career edge group, and this is my group, which is the Atlanta Rising group. So once you click over there, this is where I will post all the resources that we have. And then I also will post a lot of different resources that's in Atlanta area. And then I also will post events that we have coming up. So this is the live feed of the RPC. And if I scroll down, this is the services that we offer where you can sign up to get those services as well.
Muriel, I think it would help also if you could maximize your screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is
Not
it?
that the top right corner of your actual computer. You have the hyphen in the middle box and the X. You want to hit the middle one so you can expand it.
This one? Hold on. It's not letting me expand it.
Well, don't worry about it. It should be fine.
Okay. But yeah, this is pretty much everything. But they will be able to see more once they we set up a Zoom call for them either to do it. If it's multiple people, we prefer to do it in a group, but if not, we could do the individual because all they will need is their name and their email and their birthday. And that is it. And they have to be 18 and up.
Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, okay. Well, if you
hmm
want, you can stop sharing.
Okay. There you
Make
go.
this a quick lunch and learn. Okay. So at this point in time, I did drop some those three upcoming meetings that Muriel talked about: the financial capability course, getting the job accelerator maze, and applying for their mentorship cohort. Or if you want to be a mentor yourself, I dropped those links in the chat, and again, they will be emailed to you along with the slides and any other relevant resources that Muriel
I'm
would
gonna
like.
drop my email in there too. I know I put it on the slide, but I just want to make sure.
Okay. So as you drop that, we'll go ahead and get prepared for any Q&A questions we have. We do have a question in the chat. How far in Alabama do you serve? And can a resident of Alabama join RPC in Georgia to get employment and other services?
Yes. So everything, like I said before, everything that we do is online. So we are state, nationwide, and we also are statewide. You don't have to worry about going anywhere. Everything that we do is online. So you don't have to worry about that part. You can just come get your activation account, and then it will be on Zoom. and you don't have to worry about anything else. Everything that we do is online.
So if you live in Alabama, can you join the RPC in
Yes,
Georgia?
yes,
Okay.
you can. Yes, you can.
Okay. Were there any other questions? If you want, feel free to come off mute and ask your question. Or if you want her to re-explain some stuff that you need a little bit more clarification on, and you have any questions, feel free. Don't be shy.
I'll ask a question.
Okay, thank you.
Now, I have a lot of individuals who are referred to me by Department of Community Supervision for the assistance that I give them in successfully transitioning. So, how will we get your information to be able to tie this into the things that I'm already doing?
I'm sorry, you was talking a little bit low. I couldn't hear you.
How
Can
to
you?
how to how would he works with folks that's currently incarcerated with the Department of Correction. So how would he get that your information to them?
Oh, okay. So you can email. You can. I just put my email address in the chat, so you can email me. But everything we do is if they are in the if they are in Virginia and they are locked up, then they can get the business part. But once they get out, then they can come to the resilient, the post release side, which is the resilient professional community.
Do y'all work in inside of any Georgia institutions, or
No,
is that only if
we
they're allowed,
don't.
if they have access to a computer?
We do not do any prisons that's inside of Georgia, just the University of Darden, which is in Virginia only. That's the only prison that we have. We have none that's in the Georgia area.
Okay.
So they will have to wait until they get out or transfer. It's the only
Okay.
way.
So in the event that we needed to send your information to POs or COs as counselors that's inside the prison, we would just send them your email. They can connect with you and you can send your information to them so they can give to the folks inside. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, and they will be able to serve to them once they get out. But unfortunately, it's only in Virginia. That's the only prison that we serve.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Ponchalis?
It does for now.
Okay. And then Muriel, if somebody wanted to register for the program again, she said, can you explain that again of
Which
how
program?
somebody would register for Angela? What program are you talking about? And then we'll go to Charleston.
Just for a person to get started to be a part of their network.
Okay, so for in order for them to get started, they can email me and we can do an individual onboarding on Zoom to activate the account. All we need is their first and last name. And then once they do that, they will be able to go on there and they will be able to register. But I'm also going to email Wanisha after the call today, and I'm going to email her all the air tables so they can register then as well. That way they won't get left behind.
Okay. And then once they get registered, then they're be able to access the other
Yes.
resources.
Yes, once
Okay.
they get registered, they'll be able to access everything. Just tell them, make sure that they stay on top of it because sometimes our application closes like in the next 2 weeks. But if they get activated, they will be able to see everything. And then I also like to email them as a reminder as well.
Okay. And other question is when they would get with you in an email, do they set up the interviews like say a 9 to 5 time? Is there a time frame during the day?
Um, they can register anytime they feel like. I'm here from 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. So that is perfectly fine with me. If they open to it, I can help sit them down on the weekend and do it as well. And I'm fine with
Okay,
that as
great.
well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. We had a question from I think it's Charleston. It says, how old does a record have to be in order to get hired? Because they've been having trouble with gaining employment because they were incarcerated 2 years ago.
So the jobs that we place are not to work with Resilient Education. These are other jobs outside of Resilient Education. So it doesn't matter what your record is. You can go in there and you can scroll through and do your own research. But the jobs that we place is not to work with Resilient Education. These are jobs that is outside of Resilient Education.
Okay. Also, I just dropped in the chat about Honest Jobs. I don't know if you all have heard about Honest Jobs. Honest Jobs was started by a guy who's formerly incarcerated. 90% of their staff are formerly incarcerated people. And what Honest Jobs does is, who is at the 419? At what Honest Jobs does is they, regardless of your record, you go in and you apply for the position. You apply for a job, and what they do is they give you, um, so let's say, for instance, you go in and you're looking for a driving job, but you've had several DUIs or several traffic tickets. Based on what you, let me mute this person. Hold on a minute. Based on what you are looking for, it will actually give you a red, yellow, or green in reference to what you are looking for. So where a lot of folks give background checks and they only go on what you're doing, it will tell you the likelihood of you getting that job based on your charges. So whether it is a sex offense, whether it is driving, whether it's you just got out 7 days ago or you've been out 20 years, it will go in there and you see a job and you say, "Oh, I want to apply for it." It will ask you in your application how long you've been out, what your charges are, whatever, whatever. And then it may say, based on, I haven't gone to the actual site, but based on what we had last time, and I'll make sure I include that link when we had Honest Jobs on a couple of years ago, that shows you how to actually navigate that website. It will tell you directly based on your lived experience, this job would be great for you or this job would not be great for you because they require you to have been out of prison 5 years and you've only been out 2 years. But here's some more recommendations that you may want to apply for. So I dropped that link in the chat, but I will also send that to you all as well, so you can have it. Um, and I think Ms. Brown that just came in, what I had just spoke about was meant for you because it was regarding your question around employment. And I just dropped that link in the chat from Honest Jobs, but I'll make sure I also email it to you as well. And that bases on your charges. And like I said, it was started by formerly incarcerated people. Most of the folks who work there at the staffing agency are formerly incarcerated people. And it's not like traditional employers who just use background checks and deny you. They pair you with employers who are open to your charges and that kind of stuff. So I dropped the link, but you'll also get it before we close today as well.
And another thing I want to bring up is I know a lot of success that we had with the community members was when they joined the mentor cohort, and a lot of them was looking for jobs because they was able to network with a mentor who was able to be like, I know people in this field that you was looking for, and they was able to get those jobs. So it's also the power of networking as well.
Okay. Yeah. And again, we post jobs on our page. We had recent job fairs where we had employers there. If it's something about a job, we actually don't just share stuff. We will call and confirm if they hire folks with records. Me personally, I don't think anybody that says they have to have a criminal record that's older than 7 years is truly a second chance employer because you can't expect folks to get out and stay whatever for 7 years. So we tend to filter and contact folk before we share it. So if it's shared on our page, it is specifically for us. And I say us because I'm formerly incarcerated as well, but it is for formerly incarcerated folk. Now you may see, housing waiting lists opening up and stuff like that. That's for anybody. But if it's a job, we have actually confirmed it. And the only time we will share on our page, we will note that it has not been able to be confirmed because it was too short of a notice. But yeah. So, but what Resilience Education does is they connect with other second chance employers and you connect y'all clients to them.
Yes.
And by them working with y'all already, y'all have confirmed that they are second chance employers.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
We always confirm before we post it on there.
Okay. Okay. If we don't have another question from anybody, if you get one, I'm going to ask a question about this cohort. Now, I know a couple of weeks ago, last month, you were sending emails around about the cohort. Can you give everybody a little bit more information about this cohort? What exactly it entails, how long it is, if there's a stipend, because we get questions like this all the time. You shared a cohort with us. Is it a stipend? Um, and is it virtual? How many days or what is the commitment for it? And what's the goal of it? So if a person attends this, what are they going to get out of it?
Okay, so unfortunately, we do not offer stipend. The mentorship program lasts for 10 weeks. The financial capable course lasts for 6 to 8 weeks because it is intense. And then when we do the entrepreneurship course, that is 8 weeks of commitment. And then we have the people that's inside the prison that does the business education. They are the ones that's coming in, and then we're doing real life case studies. So unfortunately, we don't offer stipend. It's up to you and your mindset how bad you want it. And then you can join anytime. When you do connect with your mentor, you have to meet with them every week um, based off of y'all schedule. So, for instance, when I joined the mentor core, I was like, I'm very interested in going back to school for social worker, but I don't know if it's meant for me to go because I'm already doing those skills already. So when I explained that on the application, they was able to match me with somebody who was actually a social worker. So that is the commitment. It's just meeting with them every week. Um, and we always ask questions like, how's it going? Or if this mentor is not for you, then you are most likely be able to register for the next core and get another mentor. But for me, I like to keep the same mentors and then sometimes sign up for a different one for a different aspect of my life. But once they be able to register, before they register, they'll be able to read everything, how long the commitment is, the time frame. But everything that we do is on Zoom, and most of our cores are from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And then the community meetups are at 6 p.m.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. We have any final questions before we end the meeting? Wait, let me see. I think punch it.
I have a question in the chat.
Oh, wait. Let me see. Let me look for it. Mm-mm-mm. Do you have second chance career options in Georgia? If so, are there options throughout the state?
Second chance
Career
employee.
options.
Some
You
of
got
them,
certifications of punch Ellis?
Oh, jobs and certifications, because there are people that are needing those connections throughout the state as well as in Atlanta, but all over.
we do not offer any certification programs at the moment. So once you complete the entrepreneurship course or the mentorship course, the financial course, you only get a certificate, but it's not a certification at the moment.
And I just went to this thing. Let me see if I can find you.
But if you join Atlanta Rising group, I'm always posting resources of people who does certifications, like Strive Atlanta. They are one that does certification and offers stipend as well. So
Strive Atlanta. Okay. And I mentioned about TCSG earlier. I am putting that in the chat. They offer free certifications, grants for students as well. And they have a list of certifications that they'll give you for free. And I did drop that in the chat, and I'll make sure I email that to you all as well.
mhm.
From welding, I mean, they had a ton of them.
You can
Um,
also try Georgia Vocational Solutions with Mr. Tony. They do certifications as well. So I'm always posting stuff in Atlanta group that's outside of Resilience as well. So it can be that person that they can figure out which one is be able to fit for them.
okay.
I have
Okay.
a question. How how are how's everyone doing today? Fine.
Doing good.
Doing
I
great.
actually work for Strive. I'm the employment specialist for Strive,
Well, go ahead on then.
and we do offer certifications. And I'm glad that you're on here because one of the things that I found out that Georgia has no limit as far as background, as far as they can go background. So I find when I'm trying to place a lot of individuals, they will interview the individuals and then offer them the position. And once they start working, I had one young lady that she went through 3 interviews. The third interview, they were like, oh, well, we can't hire you because of your background, which she drove probably like 40, 50 minutes. And so I'm really kind of new to this demographic. because
Mhm.
normally I would place people in IT. So this is fairly new. And then I find out that when they say they are a second chance organization, they're really not.
Mm-mm.
And so that's the issue that I'm running into. I'm running into because they get their hopes up and you got this whole list and then they get there and they're like, well, no, I see that you have a DUI and or no this. And so my thing is how can and I know is it Muriel?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we connected on LinkedIn. If I'm
Okay, so we really need to set up a meeting
Mhm.
because it's not only frustrating to them, it's frustrating to me because I see the changes and all they want is an opportunity, just one opportunity. And it's a struggle because you get hired. They had one lady that actually got hired by MARTA, worked there 3 days, and then they called security to escort her off
Mm.
As if she did something wrong.
as if she did something and she revealed her background and everything else and that's what I'm finding the issue with when companies or organization, even Delta was on there as a second
No,
chance.
they're not.
Exactly, they
And
are
this is why what we do. When I got out of prison, the first place people told me was to go to Department of Labor. They have these top step programs. They have a list of people that hire felons, which is not the word we use. We
hmm
are people impacted by a criminal record or formerly incarcerated people. But there were over 200 folks on that list. I called everybody because I needed a job despite having a master's degree and had been working on my doctorate. We don't hire people with records. We don't know why we're on that list. So what I did while I was in a shelter, sleeping on a bridge, I started this nonprofit as a way to connect people with criminal records to employers, housing, landlords, and anybody else that knows they have records and have services for them. So, what we do is, again, if we send it out in our email, a typical email, for instance, Georgia Department of Transportation, we'll hire you with a record. Coke Food, which is KOCH, that does Georgia Pacific. We'll hire you with a
hmm
record. I have met with all these folks and Walmart in certain locations. We'll hire you with a record. So if we send an email out, we specifically ask folks, will you hire folks with a felony? Will you hire folks with charges that are considered violent? Will you hire someone on a sex registry? How old does their charge have to be? So when you get our email from us that tells you about, hey, they're hiring at whatever, whatever, charges must be everything that you need to know in that email before you waste your time or your gas is in that actual email. So you know that when we send you this email, it's going to tell you who needs to apply, who cannot apply, what your charges need to be, or whatever. Same thing on our social media pages. If we see an employer, most of the time when we see them post something on Facebook, we are messaging them or inboxing them or calling them saying, hey, we just saw a job you just posted. Is this open to people with criminal records? If so, what is that background got to look like? And most of the time they'll say, oh, well, like one lady, she's, hey, I hear you share jobs for folks. And I said, I do. Do you hire folks with felony records? No, we don't. I said, well, ma'am, you calling the wrong people. We don't share. She said, so you won't share our stuff? I said, no, ma'am, because it's not helpful to the folks we serve. We serve Georgians who are impacted by a criminal record. So we're not going to just be sharing your stuff for free. We don't mind working for free. None of us get paid. So we don't mind doing that to help folks with records, but we're not going to work
So
for free helping people who ain't got records.
So I have a question also because just like I said, some of the individuals reveal their background. In order for me to help them find employment, I got to know some of the background. I got to know the issues because if somebody did fraud or theft or whatever, I can't set them up with a bank. That's
Mm-hmm.
just that's not going to work. How do you handle someone that has a number of felonies?
Well, what I do is most of the time when folks, and Miriam, I'm not gonna take your space, but most of
Mhm.
the time when
Oh, I'm
folks do
sorry.
call us,
And I'm
oh,
just
that's okay.
talking. I'm
No, no,
sorry.
no, that's okay. But most of the time when folks do call us, and we've gotten it, we've gotten folks that have, I think one of the, I don't want to say worse, but one of the ones that were a little bit more challenging was he had 21 assault charges. One of them was a murder charge. And a lot of times, I think it's not necessarily your record. I think it's also how you're presenting yourself. If
Mm,
you're going somewhere with 21 felonies where most of them are assault and you done killed folks, you can't be walking somewhere looking like the same person that you did 20 years ago because now you're scared the person that you're trying to see. So a lot
mm.
of that begins with your mindset. A lot of it begins with the way that you're dressing. And I also tell people, and they just say, "Oh, Miss Wilson, you just be talking." I'm telling you the God honest truth. When you go to a job fair, whether virtual or in person, you got to be dressed like you going on an interview, because
Dress
that
to
is your
impress.
first impression. You cannot be going in job fairs with hair bonnets on your head, house slippers, and pajamas, because to be honest with you, the person who may actually be hiring you is the person that's sitting at that table.
That's
And
right.
now you have just messed that up. So most of the time when we actually advocate, we will call employers if someone says they have a job, which is what we've been trying to do with Fastenal. Fastenal does hire individuals out here on Industrial Boulevard. Um, with folks with records. And a lot of times with well, I've applied, Miss Wilson, I have applied, but they won't hire me. And a lot of times it's not honestly because of your record or your charges. A lot of times it's because you haven't read and done your homework. If you know for a fact that, for instance, an employer is hiring, you need to go and look at the actual post. And if their employment post says that starting pay starts at $15, you probably didn't get the job because on your application you said you wanted 19. That means you ain't read. Or it's something in your interview you did that when they say, well, tell me a little bit about yourself. They don't want to know that you know you like to play Y2K of PlayStation 4 games, or you like to play basketball. They want to know the type of person that's coming on their job. So a lot
Mhm.
of times, oh, they don't want to hire me because they got a felony. No, it's probably because your Facebook page got you shooting all kind of finger signs with guns and drugs on your page and
Mhm.
shows that every Tuesday night you're going to the strip club. And I'm just being
Or your
honest with
email
folks.
address.
Yes. So employers have social media too. And if you don't know, you better ask these folks that's getting fired about the stuff that they're being posting on their social media. When it's just the way that you engage with people. But I get folks all the time and be like, oh no, that person has a murder charge. And I have to say, you know what? That murder charge was 23 years ago. They served 20 years in prison. You're not the same person you were when you went at 17. So you can't expect them to be. So a lot of times the way we're advocating for folks and you talking to folks when you're interviewing them, to say that that's something that I did or something that was done in my youth. I'm a changed person. Sometimes it's just the way that you say things. Now, the problem becomes when people, I have found that when you have pending charges, it's
Mm-hmm.
almost worse as you having a conviction because for one,
Mm.
a pending charge is really kind of worse because that means, or you out on bail, that means these people are about to spend their time and their energy and their money to train you, only to find out that 4 months down the road, you got to go to court and you're going to get locked up. Now they have wasted money and time trying to train you. And then so the other one is you have repetitive charges. You've got 17 charges back to back for stealing. That shows them that you ain't changed
Mm-hmm.
and you're still in the wrong mindset. So a lot of times it's just the way that you put it out there. We have actually gotten folks who've had, I think the most he had like 2 murder charges. We've had folks who are on the sex offender registry. We help folks get jobs because we send them to employers who are open to them. We have an employer right now who does construction work, and he only hires people on the sex registry because his brother was impacted by the registry, and that's his way of giving back. So
Mm.
we do that. We get folks
Gotcha.
that have drug charges. They used to sell dope, and that's all they know how to do. You know what we finna do? We finna send you over to Metro PCS because you know about selling stuff. You know how to upsell stuff. You know how to, you know about marketing.
Right.
So it's about being with your personality and then be, I don't want that job. I want a job in this. It's kind of hard that you got 14 aggravated assault charges and home invasion charges. You might have to wait on a little bit to get what you want, get what you can right now to satisfy you being able to survive and thrive in the community, and then try
Mm-hmm.
to work on something later. But I think when you just have those challenges, especially when you're talking to employers, it's just coming at them a connection of this person deserves a second chance. They may have these type of charges, but that's not that charge. Let me tell you about this. Or they have 25. One employer I spoke with, she did not want to hire the lady because she had 27 charges for theft, um, stealing property. And I had to explain to her that the lady was in active addiction. And if you don't know anything about folks in addiction, they do tend to
Mm-hmm.
steal what don't belong to them. But you will notice, ma'am, that in the past 7 years, she hasn't had any new charges. That's because she's been clean for 7 years. And so if you'll give an opportunity, that should be enough to let you know that she's clean and she's on the right path and track. I just think just explaining to folks most of the time allow them.
So I have to, I left my contact information
Mm-hmm.
in the
I got it.
chat. because I also want to talk about the ATS system. You know, when they apply, I don't have time. Please, I just got back in town. I've been going and it's been crazy. Even my own team, they be like, "Who are you? Who are you?" You know, because I've been gone a lot, and I just got back today. Is my first day back. I would really like to set up meetings because this is an area that I really want to engross myself and help people because you see the change, you see the difference, and yet they're still turned down and all this other stuff. And it's very, very frustrating. Yes. Oh, I'm
Mhm.
sorry. Let me just please
Uh,
contact
no,
me.
no, you're okay. And I'll definitely be connecting with you to maybe get you on one of these Thursday sessions to talk about Strive services as well. We
Mhm.
are booked up until the end of 25, and we take a month long our and our board members, Andrea's here. Thank you for joining us, Andrea. We take a break. Because
No
again, we
problem.
volunteer our time, we do this stuff. So we take us about four to 6 weeks off after the end of November, and we will be starting back in January. But we would love to have Strive on. And just to let you all know that there have been some strides in criminal justice reform here in Georgia, with Georgia Justice Project and several other organizations that's been doing great work. For instance, in 2022, I think it was, Bard Business had in the city of Atlanta uh, now considers people with criminal records as a protected class, meaning you can no longer be discriminated for housing or employment in the city of Atlanta. Georgia Justice Project is working on occupational licensing. They've helped pass law that passed a couple years ago that if you're on probation for at least 3 years, you can get your probation ended early. There's also a way to get your parole ended early. And one of the things too is they're kind of working on clean slate. And these are some of the things that we do need to have because once people have gone to prison and done their time, they don't need to get out. We don't need to get out with these barriers because it does hinder our productivity in the community. And then we'll make sure we stay plugged in. But I will be contacting you as well, Russell, to get into a
Please
meeting
do.
with you.
Miriam, hey, send me a thing so we can schedule something for next week. I know you've been trying to
Okay.
get on my schedule. Please do it, and because I just got back, and I'll put it on there, and then we can go ahead
Okay.
and meet.
Okay.
Okay. And Ponchalis is actually wanting to have a conversation with you as well about working together. And so, what I think I'll do is send you an email.
Hmm.
Ponchalis, I'll make sure you get the email and everything that's in the chat. And at
Uh-huh.
some point, maybe we can get together. Even after y'all talk separately, we all
Hmm.
can get together to talk about what we need to be doing. Because the issue is employers. A
It
lot of
is.
them are ignorant to the fact. We know that they're businesses and they have liabilities. But what I tell people all the time is because a person has a record doesn't mean they're any more of a liability than a person does not have a record. We can see in the news every day that people who do not have records, who were part of law enforcement, working in the prison system, working here and working there, um, getting arrested for embezzlement, rape, murder, drug trafficking. And guess what? You hired them when they didn't have a record. That just simply means they was doing that probably before they had the pretense to do that before you locked them, hired them. They just never got caught for it. So because a person has gotten caught for something does not mean that they're less of a liability to be a worker. And to be honest with you, a person who's impacted by a record is probably going to be your best bet to even go. Why? Because we need a job. A lot of us have gone years without getting a job. So we tend to be more loyal to the person who does give us a job. We'll come in early, we'll stay later, and we'll probably do more than what that ain't in my job description. Then
You're
these
right
people who
about
don't
that
have a
one.
criminal
You're so
record,
right about that.
yes. And
I
these
have to
folks who,
jump. Mo, did you
okay,
see what I put in the chat?
Mo, please reach out to
Yeah,
me.
please, because we need to talk about black men in particular.
Okay, so we're gonna definitely
So,
reach out to you.
okay.
And
Yeah,
yes,
I
you
was gonna
can
put it.
get tax breaks if a person has been out less
Hey
than a
Mo.
year.
Hey, how you doing, Mur? I
And
was
we're
gonna
gonna close
respond
out
to
with
you.
Mo. I think Mo is the last question, and we're gonna get ready and close this out. Go ahead, Mo.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, good afternoon. How's everybody feeling?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm sorry I got on the chat late. But quick little something about me. My name is Mo Nelson. I'm a motivational speaker and I'm an emotional intelligence coach. So I help the justice impacted strengthen their emotions so they can successfully navigate life challenges and defy recidivism. Because let's be honest, a lot of things that we're talking about right now, Miss, what is your name? The New Life Second Chance?
Oh, Wilson Menifee.
Ms. Wilson, a lot of people are going to face denials, a lot of no's, a lot of challenges. And then when we face these things, a lot of us don't know how to process our emotions. We want to fall victim to impulsivity and fall victim to the gratification of getting what we need and then what we want. And then it's a lot of times, especially with the justice impact, that equates to criminal activity. So this is why I come in at. Me, I went in at the age of 16. I didn't get out to the age of 29. The things I learned in prison is priceless. I applied what I learned in prison out here, and that enabled me to have substantial success. And for the record, I have a murder charge, so I know how it is. I have a second-degree murder charge, an attempt on robbery, accessory or principal to murder. I'm in Florida. For when I'm hearing it sound like y'all in Georgia, Florida's a different behemoth. So if anybody knows how challenging it is as far as the system and being incarcerated, I know that firsthand. Florida is very strenuous. That's how they make their money off tourism and prisons. A lot of prisons they got in Florida now is privatized. So a lot of people say they want to contribute and combat recidivism rate, but yet you the one that got investments in prison. So how that work? So you're lying because you want to protect your bottom line because you're a business owner. I get it. But I say I have to say this. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. I love what you alluded to as far as the presentation. With my people, I always tell people all the time, presentation is everything. Again, when I got out of prison, I had got a job that I was making minimum $1,200 a week. They wasn't even supposed to hire me because of my charges. But because I presented myself well and what you do in prison too, I had an illustrious resume. The skills that you learn and build while you're in there, you can apply that out here too. You can utilize that. If you worked in the kitchen, that's culinary arts. You can
That's
embellish it.
right.
It's culinary arts. If you was a houseman, that's janitorial service, et cetera, et cetera. We can go on and on. But I did that. And I was able to learn, intangibles, get my emotions right, Spanish. I don't know if y'all got trades in Georgia, but we got a few trades and stuff like that. And I put that on a resume. And when I presented myself to the employer, he said, listen, either I'm going to be the smartest man in the world or the dumbest, but you got you a job. With your credentials, I cannot say no. And I got the job. And when I got the job, I made sure I was one of the hardest working people. Us as Justice Impact, I'm assuming everybody on the call is Justice Impacted. What I want you guys to adhere to is understand this. The odds are against us. People are apprehensive and afraid to hire us for whatever reason because of the past, because they feel like we're gonna reenact the behaviors that land us in prison. For a lot of us, that's not the case, but it is the case for some of us. That's why they have that apprehension. But because of this, we have to make sure whenever we do get our chance, first we got to put ourselves in a position to get the chance. But once we get that chance, we have to put our best foot forward and over deliver. When I say over deliver, I mean work harder than the next person aside of you. If they paying you $13 an hour, I don't give a damn because that's what I had got. When I first got out of prison, I went straight to a temp service my 22nd day out. I was working for an HVAC, commercial HVAC company. I was making $13 an hour, but I was working harder than the permits. I was making $20 an hour. And guess what? I came up. And then I got the second job I was telling you about that I was making $1,200 a week. But when I first got out of prison, it was $13 an hour. But I came up because I over delivered. So I want all you guys to adhere to this and take this with you. Yes, I know it's gonna be challenging. Yes, I know the odds are stacked against you. But guess what? Challenges are the opportunities for our greatest growth. You can do it, but it all starts in the mind. And for the people that's about to get out, that's still incarcerated, we got to tell them too. It starts in them, man. Don't think you about to get, excuse me, but don't think you about to get your ass out. Using those and all that criminal behavior inside, selling dope, smoking, fighting, gang banging, doing all these activities in here. And then as soon as you get released, all drop. No, you didn't create these habits, man. It's gonna translate out in the free world. You got to start right there. I started there when I got up in that thing. Straight up. I'm being honest. I done lived it. I'm in it. Decade plus. I ain't do no 1 or 2 years. I did a decade plus in prison. I know what it takes. I'm out here. I've been out 6 going on 7 consecutive years. And I'm not saying this to brag. I done made 6 figures. I don't have a job. I've been unemployed for 3 years. I'm running it up. Y'all can do the same thing. But talk with the mindset, man. Taking the sacrifices and keeping our emotions in perspective. Emotional intelligence, EQ, is a catalyst of life. It influences our behaviors, our actions, the way we think, the whole world around us. If you got your emotional intelligence intact, I guarantee you will not lose any situation you go in. You're gonna know how to draw the silver lining from it. And
All
I'm a proven
right.
testament of it, but I didn't want to take up too much time.
Well,
This ain't my
ain't
fault.
well.
I just wanted to
Let
introduce
me just
myself.
tell you
My
that
bad.
you are amazing. I love to hear you talk, and proud of you. Make sure you drop your contact info in the chat. If it's okay,
Okay.
I'll make sure I send that out with the information I'll be sending to everybody. Punch
Okay.
Ellis, I did drop something in the chat for you as well, for you to email. Email me at my Southern Center email. Um, but other than that, see, Muriel, now we did technical college. It didn't get this heated. It didn't get this found on them. But I think this is too because a lot of us are impacted. And so I love this. So this was Muriel brought this out. So I am glad. Thank you. I'm glad Muriel was the catalyst to get this conversation started and that you all joined us for this. I hope it was helpful to you all. And I appreciate you and appreciate you. Miri, did you want to say anything else?
I think we good. I think Mo has Mo did.
He got us
But no,
fired
for
up.
I am here. I've been there. I have a felony charge. I have grand theft. So when it comes to resilience education, I know a lot of people want jobs and things like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just tell a lot of people resilient education is your additional next steps. So if you like in the right mindset and you want to come over and learn and take some entrepreneurship courses, take some mentorships, that's what we all about. We are your next steps and we always gonna walk alongside you no matter your journey.
And we will be actually opening up with Thomas Cotton. We're going to be opening up our rock training program with him coming back again next year. And that trains mostly men. Rock works with men, mentorship, but we'll be having an entrepreneurship, get your mind right type thing that we're going to be starting as well. And we're going to be starting as well, kicking off our second year for our digital literacy training as well as our entrepreneurship training. And for those of you who do have businesses, because we know that entrepreneurship is just as critical as employment, because when you have those things that say, oh, I can't get a job, okay, start your own business. And those of you who have, we wrapped up last month 7 weeks of teaching people how to do QuickBooks. And if y'all know about me, I know some people out here was charging almost $600 to learn QuickBook. We offered it for free. So I'll make sure I send you our YouTube links. There's things on our pages that how to look for a job with a felony, how to interview for a felony, dress for success. We have a lot of great info, and I'm gonna toot my own horn, and that we do this with our own money. We do this without getting paid, and we do this because we love the work. And 80% of our board of directors are formerly incarcerated people who have been resilient and bounced back. And the other ones are just dedicated allies who want us to make sure we get this information out. So I implore you to make sure you watch the things that we have on our YouTube page, including a lady that came on in April that actually helped people who got evictions find eviction friendly housing. And so if you can, please make sure you register for our upcoming sessions and events. And I will make sure all of these chats, Charcelyn, that I'm actually, as soon as I can get this video uploaded within the next couple of hours, you all will get all the emails, all the links that's dropped in the chat, as well as Muriel's information and the other folks who did present and drop their information in the chat. All that information you will get. So thank you again for joining us. I want you all to be blessed, and hopefully we will see you here next week. Next week we'll who we having on here next week? Blah 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 blah. Next week we're
Um,
having
It's a domestic one that I signed up for.
no, next week we're having Cherokee. Next week we are having Georgia Mental Health Consumer Network. And they're going to be telling us about their programs. We ended up running across them because they actually have a housing program in Decatur. And this month is Suicide Prevention Month, and I don't think they do too much work with that, but they're going to be telling you about their services and their programs. And also, for those of you who are in recovery, Georgia Mental Health Consumer Network also has a program where they pay you to be a peer, what is it?
Peer
Peer
support
peer
specialist.
support specialist. So if you can join us next week, Thursday, same time at noon, just go to the website, same website you found this, or the same link, and register for any of those upcoming events. And we hope to see you here next Thursday for the lunch hour. You all have a great
Thank
day
you,
and
Anisha.
stay blessed.
real quick,
Uh-huh.
If for anybody who wants my contact, I've been having a few people in the chat. I put my IG, my social media handles in there, and I got
Okay.
my email. So if you got
Okay.
any questions, want to have any deeper conversations and see how I can be conducive to your well-being, definitely give me a shout out, and let's take it from there.
All
Thank you,
righty. We
everybody.
definitely
Appreciate you.
will. Thank
All
you.
right now.
Y'all have a great day.
Bye.
All right. Bye.